So as long as you're in a gang, if you break the law, it's gang. That's what you're saying.
It's related to the gang. This is.
So I'm asking you, how is this related to the gang? Tell me how it is related to the gang. You should maybe give an answer, but I don't know if you answered how it is related to the gang. The killing related to the gang.
The YNW Melly murder trial had an interesting motion hearing today. Undercover gang detective Danny Polo came in to testify regarding Melly's gang affiliation. Melly's team then asked him a few questions on cross that makes him look bad. You guys know I never liked the gang affiliation side of this case. I don't think these were gang killings at all. The state has to prove that in order to get death penalty, so that's what they're doing. This motion hearing goes over a lot of what Melly posted publicly on social media sites. I don't know how I feel about a lot of this though. The audio is terrible. I'm sorry. Hit subscribe. Here we go. Let's get right into it. All right, so first look at Melly today with his lawyers over on the left side over here, and then the prosecution right here on this right side. So Danny Polo, the detective that testified with the mask on last time, is up on the stand again.
We also taught outside of the state of Florida on the topic of gangs.
Yeah, taught in Chicago last year.
The idea of a gang expert in this case is dumb to me, bro. I'm sorry. Yes, he clearly has some experience and knowledge in gang shit, but it could come off as speculation. Like he's just straight up guessing on certain things and how people word things and how Melly says something to someone else. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So he's worked in Baltimore, Louisiana, and Chicago.
Approximately 6 times.
He's testified 6 times total.
Cell phone downloads of the defendant.
Yes.
Cell phone downloads of the victims.
Yes.
Did you review police reports?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to any mention of the cell phone downloads of the victims. The state attorney has yet to provide cell phone downloads of the victims because we have yet to receive them despite multiple motions to those phones.
2 different issues that are now being misconstrued. The first issue that they allege is that they're tampering with the cell phone carrier records. That is different from the cell phone downloads. One comes from the company, one comes from the defendant's own device. What was alleged in their motion is that the cell phone carrier records were tampered with. That's what we responded to.
She's saying the defense is getting records confused, basically.
We provided them a new copy of the defendant's download, and I put in the receipt that was signed by counsel, indicating that the victim's phones are available for review at our office, and I'm not getting them over yet because I have not had the opportunity to fully go through them to make sure that there's no other activity, such as the underage pictures that we saw on the defendant's phone.
We're not alleging that there's some kind of discovery violation. You're saying you turned it over and you have a signed receipt for it. That it's not that you turned it over, that you said you'd make it available to them, but you didn't turn it over, but it's there, and make an appointment to come to see you so you can see it as well, is my understanding.
Correct.
We are not seeing crucial information, crucial discovery that is being testified to at a crucial juncture in this case.
Melly's team is saying they don't have some of the discovery that is being testified to by Danny Polo right now, which I think it was just the cell phone records of the victims, is what they said. So Sakchaser and Juvie's cell phone records of some kind, which I highly doubt. How the f do they not have that? That seems wrong, right?
Because they went through an entire trial and never had this. They had all the discovery before the prior trial.
I was just thinking that. They had all this for the first trial, right? That makes no sense.
That would be a problem when they went into the first trial. So I'm confused on why they're saying they never had this, which was signed by Ms. Liberty. I have a note there that says celebrate your report, a full download available for inspection and review at the state attorney's office. So they've known about this.
So apparently Raven Liberty, one of Melly's lawyers, already basically addressed this and signed something saying they do have it or something.
Only upon hiring another expert after the first trial did we learn what we didn't get. So that was never provided for the first trial.
Oh, I remember this issue now. So after the first trial, Melly's team hired another expert for cell phone records of some kind. That's when they realized that one of the records was tampered with notes. I think it was just Moretti wrote on some of these records like a notes, like noting down stuff or like marking stuff that was probably important. And they freaked out saying it was tampered with. But I thought they handled this already.
Legal activity on there, such as we had with the defendant's phone, where they throw an underage girl on there.
So prosecutor said something about they haven't sent the files over because they haven't gone through it completely and made sure that Melly's girlfriend isn't naked on there. This has been such a big issue with the naked videos on the phone, dude.
The defense counsel and their experts come to our office, we sit there for as long as they need, for as many days as they need, and they can review it in conference.
We're on Mr. Demon's phone. I don't know if there's any allegations that they were on, as we call it, the victim's phone.
Okay, so yeah, another thing I was confused about, I thought this whole issue was about Juvie and Sakchaser's phones. Clearly there wouldn't be any pictures on there unless they also were banging girls on their phones, but there shouldn't be any other pictures on there that are an issue, especially of Melly's girlfriend, because that was only on Melly's phone.
We're going to go forward with the hearing, that you go ahead and you make arrangements with counsel.
So he's not buying the discovery violation that Melly's team was trying to do, specifically about Polo talking about the victim's cell phones.
Judge, I'm not from court, I've never said that, ever. Sorry. I've never said anything to the FBI.
I did ask Mr. Garrett at the time when children did the download and he told me that they were now being housed out of the FBI building. Mr. Garrett is enter into the FBI building.
Never had a time.
All right.
Melly's lawyer just accused her of saying something and she's denying it. The blonde prosecutor right here is denying what Raven Liberty just said she said. Couldn't really hear it because audio is dog shit, but...
And I look for evidence of gang affiliation, gang association, use of gang hand signs, clothing, gang language, use of gang lyrics.
A known actual gang member, such as the defendant, versus someone who's
Objection.
online.
A known gang member such as the defendant.
Your objection is?
Speculation.
I guess just
He objected saying known gang member speculation. Judge sustained it, I think.
first thing I have to do is figure out which gang it is. These identifiers, then I keep searching social circle, who they're associating with. United Blood Nation, I think there's a total of 15 subsets at the moment.
United Blood Nation has 15 subset gangs.
The most known was that there was Gangster Killer Bloods, also known as G-Shine, Sex, Money, Murder. Those neighborhoods then have their own leaders. Some of the subsets get along. It depends on different regions. It seems like that detective did basically the same thing I did. They went through social media, identified that Mr. Devins was adopting hand signs, colors, clothing, and other signs and symbols of the Bloods. There was multiple posts of Mr. Williams throwing up hand signs, gang signs.
Were you able to find any messages between Mr. Williams and the defendant on Mr. Williams' phone prior to October 26th?
Yes.
That showed conversations between the defendant and Mr. Williams.
August 24th, 2018.
October 26th of 2018, correct?
Correct. Message, Mr. Devins saying, yo, this is Sack. Those same messages are on Mr. Williams' phone.
Okay. So these messages that came from Mr. Williams' phone, prior to the suppression hearing, did you also see these particular messages on the defendant's phone?
Yeah.
So the prosecutor's still upset about the time frame that the judge gave where he's only going to consider stuff after October 26th. She's showing a bunch of stuff that she has that she thinks should be included in the trial before October 26th, which is the day of the murders.
Other messages between Mr. Williams and the defendant regarding sharing audio files.
Yeah, it seemed to be common between Mr. Devins and Mr. Williams.
So in February 2022, did you go to the defendant's Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to the defendant's Facebook page?
Yes.
Did you go to the defendant's SoundCloud page?
Yes. His album cover, he's throwing up the Gangster Killer Blood hand sign. Evidence of gang activity. Was everything taken off? No. They missed certain things. Like there was an image of Mr. Devins holding a stack of money to his face. Nothing criminal about that. When you open it, he's using gang language, replacing C's with B's.
I think he's just talking about gang characteristics that were on Melly's social medias.
It was gang language where he's using common blood and accurate.
Publicly available.
Publicly available. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, fan pages.
Why was this photo relevant to your portion of this investigation?
A caption on the post says I was with Bloods. I was bleeding red in the lab.
N-word, I was sleeping on the slabs. I was with them bloods. I was bleeding red in the lab. Hashtag
Red the
YNW.
emoji.
So this is just them trying to prove he's a gang member right now. Hold up, bro. They got pictures of Flaggin here too.
What does SLATT mean?
It stands for slam dunk all the time. It's something that came out of the YSL gang language. Blood started adopting it. YSL, the gang, is made up of Bloods, mainly Sex, Money, Murder. In this picture, he's with Young Thug, who's currently on trial for RICO on YSL gang, and they're throwing up Blood's hand signs.
I fractured my ankle.
The hand signs he's throwing up the big B Blood hand sign, and the caption uses a little snake emoji for slime. Came from Mr. Anthony Williams, YNW Sakchaser 1.
Okay. And who's in this photograph?
Mr. Devins and Anthony Williams.
Months before the homicide, correct?
Yes, the live performance of Mr. Devins performing his song Butter. He's throwing up the B for blood.
She's really pointing out this is all public domain. They're allowed to use this because he posted it on public social media.
Why was this photograph important to you?
He's throwing up the big B for blood, right? Picture of Mr. Devins throwing up the A blood hand sign. It's posted on Pinterest.
The fact that they're on Pinterest right now is hilarious, bro.
It's Mr. Devins and a subject that we identified as Jaquan Burton.
To me, it's quite obvious Melly was a gang member. He was trying to be in a gang with the emails and everything. He's throwing up G-Shine. He's repping that on his album covers. But was Melly trying to do anything to further this gang by killing his two best friends? No. I've said it a lot, but if Melly really killed these guys, it was an emotional killing. It wasn't in furtherance of G-Shine.
Recruited Mr. Devins into Gangster Killer Bloods.
Okay. Now, detective, I know we all know, this is press, that there were some emails in Google, the Gmail account of the defendant, regarding Jaquan Burton.
Yes,
How did you learn about Jaquan Burton?
from the text messages between the two of them.
Okay. And were there text messages within the prescribed time frame that we are alive currently with the court order?
Yes, his name is actually saved in the phone as Herc.
What does that mean?
It's a term specifically only used by Gangster Killer Bloods. It's a way they address each other. They call each other Hercs. Like, that's my Herc, I'm a Herc. It starts off, this is 3 days after the homicide, and Mr. Devins writes to Mr. Burton, "Make the feds on my shit, Herc." Says, "I see you," and then Mr. Burton then responds, "We just gotta watch how we bark at each other." That's all, just talking about.
Hold up, bro. I don't remember this. 3 days after the murders, he said, "Think the feds on my shit, Herc." Someone saying that they think the feds on their shit doesn't seem like they're too innocent, if you know what I mean.
We have done more as a gang investigator to determine whether this is relevant evidence to a gang investigation regarding the homicide.
To obtain the relevant evidence, yes, especially with the MP3 title, "Casket 3 days after the homicides occurred."
Is email a common communication form that individuals that are part of the gang use to communicate?
Yeah, these nationally recognized gangs that have bylaws, large books of knowledge. It's not normal to be sending that through text messages. They're long documents for the most part, and they're being copy and pasted from large text documents. Right?
I'm sorry, but I still think it's funny that apparently a lot of these gangs talk through emails, bro. Why are you doing this through email, bro?
That's from Mr. Demon's Facebook account. The album cover, throwing up Gangsta Killer Blood with both hands. He's got the Gangsta Killer Blood motto on the back of the shirt, or his outfit. You shine, I shine, we all shine. Anthony Williams, YNW Sakchaser 1. The snake, the East Coast Bloods, adopted symbol, the SLATT wiping your nose. That's what that emoji is in reference to. Yes.
Again, same emoji you mentioned before regarding gang members.
Right. That's a photograph that was also found on Mr. Demon's phone. And it's a picture of Mr. Demon's front of Gangsta Killer Blood. Same thing, the use of the SLATT term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL.
A lot of people were confused in the chat, so being part of a gang is not a crime unless they do commit crimes under the gang. The state has to prove that Melly did this in furtherance of a gang to kill his boys, you know what I'm saying? In order to get the death penalty, that's what they have to do.
Gang conversation taking place between the manager track.
Yes, sir.
Unless we have those conversations. This is just pure speculation on his part.
Getting there.
Well, let's see.
Oh, it's not whatever. Are they relevant to your gang investigation?
Yes. It's something you won't understand. You, as a normal person, won't understand. Me, as a gang member, it means something to me.
Oh, okay. So they're just really trying to prove he's a gang member, which is kind of beating a dead horse to me. I know that's one of the aspects they have to prove, but holy shit, is this tedious. So this is 3 days after the murders. Track says to Melly, I just had a talk with Mariah about everything, hopefully. Talking about Melly's ex-girlfriend, but it was his girlfriend at the time, obviously. He says, fuck her. Track said she listened.
This was on November 29, 2018. Mr. Demon responds, no, she didn't. No, she don't. And then Track says, chill out, bro. She just needs to learn how to deal. I did my part. I really talked to her and broke it down to her, all the angles. So after this, anything happened, you have all the rights.
Now, detective, this by itself, I mean, not enough context there, correct? Just reading it on its own.
No.
Now, detective, as coming into this case, you're provided all police reports, correct?
Correct.
You're provided witness statements, correct?
Correct.
Did you review all those? Are you aware that Mariah Hamilton is a listed witness in this case?
Yes.
Are you aware of Mariah Hamilton's knowledge that she provided Detective Moretti in a statement in this case?
Yes.
So, having that context and seeing these text messages, which are currently within the prescribed court's time period, would you have gone back and weren't not been done to see what messages might have existed between the defendant and Mariah Hamilton within this phone?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Mr. Francois asked Mr. Demons, you still got the money in your PNC account? Mr. Demons writes, hell no. Track laughs back, emojis, and Track writes, what the hell you spent it on? I had to pay lawyer fees and loyal fees.
Had to pay lawyer fees and loyal fees. Does that mean, like, you know, keeping people quiet? Is that what they're hinting at here? Like, he had to, you know, pay people to keep quiet?
And you see the defendant saying, I have to pay lawyer and loyal fees. What does that mean?
Money paid to people that remain loyal to you during criminal proceedings by withholding testimony, disappearing, not cooperating with law enforcement, lying, working themselves on stand, leaving the country with fake identification, many things that happen.
There's a lot of incriminating messages that Melly said over the years, man. Just such a terrible look, bro. This man does not look innocent sometimes, bro.
Mr. Francois states that he spoke with Mariah. She understands what she has to do, not along with loyal fees, and then an uncooperative witness with gang-related witness tampering, obstruction of justice.
So, in essence, you would have written a warrant to figure it out.
Yes. For gang investigations, it's usually subject matter based because we need to identify when the person became a gang member, how long they've been part of the organization. In most racketeering cases, you're being charged with predicates. In a RICO, you need the crimes had to have been committed.
So this is proof that Melly is saying ynwmellybooking@gmail.com was his email. They can't deny that it wasn't his email. There's proof of him sending it to people saying this is his email right here. To Francis.
So, David, this one?
December 2nd, 2018.
To Kenny, said the same shit. Also, here's the videos of him stacking. Alright, so now Melly's team is going to come up and cross-examine Detective Danny Polo.
The question is, what's the relationship to the gang activity and this homicide?
Mr. Williams and him had multiple conflicts that are honest. So
Those are personal conflicts, those aren't gang conflicts.
correct, they're conflicts, and they're both gang members, both bloods.
It's not related to gang activity. This is
So gang activity, as defined by law, is any criminal violations committed while associated to a criminal gang.
so as long as you're in a gang, if you break the law, it's gang. That's what you're saying.
If it's related to the gang. This is
So I'm asking you, how is this related to the gang? Tell me how it was related to the gang. You should maybe give an answer, but I don't know if you answered how it was related to the gang. The killing related to the gang.
a cleanup crew. They are to enforce the laws of the United States.
Proof and evidence that Mr. Dennis was enforcing those laws.
I have proof that Mr. Dennis was disrespected and wronged by Mr. Williams. I have proof that Mr. Williams and him are both bloods. And Mr. Dennis, as being part of the Gangsta Killer Bloods, is expected to, his oath and his duty as a Gangsta Killer Blood to enact violence on someone that disrespects him.
He just said he has proof that Melly and Sakchaser had issues, basically, and that Melly under oath he had to take out Sakchaser.
Facts whatsoever. Morning of October 26, 2018, these two people were killed. That anybody that shot doing it in furtherance of gang activity. Why can't we do that?
Objection outside the scope of
Just
the
say-
answer.
And then throw up the hand sign for whatever set they're doing, they'll do it now.
Melly's team got Danny Polo throwing up gang signs right now.
When was the first time you heard the name Melly or Janelle Evans in relation to gangs? You didn't hear it from anybody. You were looking at the stuff that you found on social media and you made that determination.
Objection outside the scope.
Just saying.
The judge isn't letting Melly's team talk about anything else, pretty much.
In your experience, are there people who want to come across as gang members that actually are?
Objection outside the scope.
How's it relevant to here today?
Because again, they're trying to establish that he is a gang member based upon these things, and they're saying these things are his hand gestures and whatnot. I'm trying to find out whether there are people who are not gang members that actually use these hand gestures for publicity, for whatever purpose it may be, but it doesn't mean they're part of the gang.
I hope we can answer.
Yeah, it's happened before. We get publicly humiliated for repping the gang that they're not part of. And usually violence accompanies that. Mr. Devon's, there's no evidence of that. No, very prominent G-Shine Gangsta Killer Blood members of Mr. Devon's set that he reps have commentated on YouTube, on social media about him, have commented on his profile, on his Instagram, on his Facebook. Not one of those people have called him out for being a fake gang.
God, the audio is so bad with Melly's lawyers. I can barely understand him in the moment. Once I edit it, I'll be able to understand some shit, but in the moment, I can't fucking hear anything, dude.
Circumstances, things were said to him, whether this was a verbatim.
Objection outside the scope.
Just saying.
How if you're pretending of being a gang member and you don't even have the phraseology right?
But he does have the right to take
Objection
it.
outside the scope.
Just saying.
And he's in custody, and he's still repping G-Shine while in custody.
Still repping G-Shine while in custody. That's a jail call, apparently. But we couldn't hear a damn thing because the audio is terrible.
This one I don't know, but we had did a cell search on Mr. Devon's cell. He had
Objection outside the scope.
multiple iCloud accounts with his YNW moniker and the password. So obviously, you don't need a password if you're not entering that account.
Danny Polo basically just said since Melly follows all these people on Instagram, he's a gang member because if he wasn't actually in the gang, they would already denounce him.
So all these documents are prior to the 2020 application for civil, correct? Correct. Okay, so the technical already had access to all of these also, correct? Yes. Nothing further.
Hey, redirect.
So I think what Melly's lawyer is going for there is just making Moretti look like he did a terrible job. I don't know, because I'd say I can't hear 70% of it. Hold up, they got an interview of Gino talking about Melly right here. I've never heard about this or seen this, damn. So Gino, I believe, is a higher up member of the gang that Melly was in.
Would it be necessary to expand that 6-hour time frame based on the evidence that you have to determine whether or not the defendant is actually part of the gang?
The evidence we currently have access to shows that we need to expand based on the facts that we don't have a full timetable of when we joined G-Shine.
I'm going to object to the fact that they may need it is not a basis for you not to suppress things or to escape or to expand your time limit.
This is getting so sloppy. Polo up there stuttering saying we need a bigger time frame window. They're discussing Snapchat now, specifically the Snapchat warrant being only from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. I don't remember which friend it was, but one of Melly's friends said that they talked to him on Snapchat that night. So the judge only suppressed it for that small window of the murders.
6-hour time frame on the Snapchat account would not be sufficient to gather evidence related to the game.
Would you have written a warrant that would expand that 6-hour time frame to allow you to go backwards and forwards to make a valid expert opinion as to the defendant's gang membership?
Yes.
All right, that's pretty much it. They're going to have court again tomorrow. I'll cover that as well. If you're new to my channel, subscribe from my Twitter and Instagram. Fucking love you guys. Peace out.